Successful scientists, researchers, medical professionals, and technicians increasingly use a variety of media to communicate effectively with colleagues, patients, customers, policymakers, and the general public. The communication program in the School of Science and Technology helps students develop hands-on skills and acquire a theoretical understanding of human communication. Faculty pursue a variety of research projects in Kazakhstan and internationally. The Science and Technology Communication minor aims to complement studies in the traditional science and technology disciplines and to provide a solid foundation for professional careers in a variety of areas. This minor must be taken in conjunction with a science or technology major at the School of Science and Technology, giving students both sound scientific and technical knowledge and highly marketable communication skills and social awareness that are increasingly desired by employers. In addition to individual instructors' preferences for various technological tools within their classrooms, Communication program offers students 10 Windows workstations housed in the Communication Lab. Here, students can use standard Office applications in addition to more specialized software packages. The lab also functions as the center for implementation of student projects in the foundation courses throughout academic year. Communication program teaching assistant serves as a liaison between faculty and students in attending to their individual and group needs as related to coursework curriculum. Students are able to get customized help regarding their e-portfolios, video blogs, presentation speeches, or general concerns with assignments.
Being in the School of Science and Technology, it's obviously pretty important for us to integrate technology into the classroom. A lot of students are doing this in their other classes, but we think that it's important to continue this trend within their communication courses. They're learning how to communicate with their peers, with their colleagues, with their instructors, their professors, future employers, and all of these things are mainly done on a technological level. So whether that's email, text message, Twitter, whatever this is, we think that it's important to expose students to these types of communication mediums because these are the mediums that students are going to use in the future. So our course, we're using as many technological platforms as possible. One of the platforms that we rely on the most is Google Drive for students to share things. We're also using Google Sites for them to create their e-portfolios. We're having them make video blogs, as you can see. We're also doing other things like having them write their resumes and their cover letters and having them sort of email these things and post these things back and forth so that peers can see them and edit them. Technology is so important nowadays because most companies are relying on technology. Most companies expect that students are familiar with technology, even at its most basic sense. So we're trying to do our part in integrating technology as much as possible. This semester, as well as last semester, one of the ways that we're using technology is by having students create an e-portfolio. Now, the e-portfolio is particularly useful because as students enter into graduate school or even in the real-world job market, how they apply to jobs and what certain places of employment want to see is different than in the past. So formerly in the past, places wanted to see a resume and they wanted to see a cover letter. And while those things are still key and important, things are turning toward a technological medium. So we have students create an e-portfolio that they can showcase not only things like the resume and the cover letter, but also things like their technical writing assignments or like their literature reviews or like their video blogs that they are created this semester. So what we had students do is we had them set up their own websites using Google Sites. They created an introduction page that had tabs of all the things that they were going to showcase. Last semester we started this assignment with students and they posted things like their cover letter, resume, literature review, technical writing assignment, or any other assignment we thought that would be beneficial for people for future internships or employment to see. We continued that assignment this semester and are having students post their video blogs as well as the other speeches that they've recorded in class. This is a good way to showcase their public speaking skills as well as their technological skills particularly with the video blog. And we think that this is going to be very useful to them now, but also more importantly in the future.
One way I've used technology in the classroom most recently has been in our science, health, and social influence class. It's primarily a class about health and communication and how to influence positive social change regarding health behaviors. And so the students worked on one particular project where they created what we called social change videos. Not just health promotion videos, but they had to target particular stigmas, stereotypes, or social attitudes about particular behaviors that led to health outcomes. And so students and groups did research on a health problem among students here at the university. They looked into the contributors to those health problems, not just the physiological or biological problems related to the health outcomes, but specifically the behaviors and the social attitudes and stigmas that might be contributing to such unhealthy outcomes. Once they did that research, they were responsible for creating what we call memorable messages about how to encourage students to change, not the specific behavior per se, but rather the attitude about a specific behavior or idea in order to then secondarily change the health outcome. And basically that's the project. What they did was produce these videos within small groups. They had to be short, they had to be 30 seconds only. They had to keep the attention of the audience, and they had to use memorable messages, use music, use lots of entertaining and interesting ideas, not bogging down the audience with too technical or scientific information, but rather persuasive, concise, and memorable strategies that they used. And so after producing these videos, they used social networking sites to spread them around the student body to see how many times they were shared, how many times they were viewed and liked and spread in a very informal way, I should say, among the students, and to see if these types of behaviors and social stigmas could be influenced in a positive direction.
Over the past 25 years, we've experienced a radical change in the way we process and create information. The internet, especially, has made us aware that the main concern isn't with having too little data or information. It's a concern that we're often overwhelmed by too much information. One tool that helps teachers and students manage information better is Turnitin. Turnitin promotes learning in several ways. First, it addresses the issue of plagiarism and proper citation of sources. Second, this robust program allows students to submit work online and teachers to mark and annotate these submissions with a great set of editing tools. Third, Turnitin enables teachers to apply grading rubrics to evaluate students' work online.
Turnitin Originality Reports currently use an astounding database of 45 billion web pages, 337 million student papers, and 130 million academic articles to quickly detect plagiarism. Message to students: don't try it. Often, however, the problem isn't deliberate plagiarism, but a lack of understanding about citation rules. Originality reports can help teachers illustrate the rules and procedures for their students. GradeMark is another useful feature in the Turnitin learning arsenal. This online program provides clear, comprehensive, and customized feedback to learners on any kind of written assignments. Students can see instructors' detailed corrections and suggestions in the context of their submission. This is how people learn. And finally, teachers can apply a rubric of their choosing or construction to students' submitted work and quickly and accurately score these efforts.
So check it out. Turnitin enhances learning through outstanding analysis, instruction, and efficiency, and it does so without consuming any paper in the process.
One of the tools that we use in our classrooms and communication is Google Drive. And we like using Google Drive because it's a free platform. It's easily available. All of our students already have a Gmail account. And so with Google Drive, we try to create a paperless classroom. We do have Moodle that allows us to do some of that, but Google Drive takes it Google Drive takes it just a little bit farther and gives us an extra step. So I'll tell you about some of the basic features of Google Drive and then how we use it. So Google Drive allows you to create documents online, so you can create multiple kinds of documents, WordPress processing documents, spreadsheets, presentation documents like PowerPoint. There's a number of different things that you can create. So none of that really is new, but what Google Drive allows us to do is to share those really easily. So instead of emailing back and forth with people, you can create them and have them available on Google Drive, and then you can share them with the different people within this platform. So our students can create one folder for all of their group members and then share it with their group members. And then all of their documents can go into that one folder and everyone has access to it at the same time. So in my class, I've used it, and I've also had all of my students add me to their folders as well, so that I have access to all of the materials that each group is doing. So in my communication and problem solving in teams and groups class, I really enjoyed using Google Drive because the groups, each individual group could have all of their materials in one folder, and so I could keep up to date on what they were doing. The other thing that Google Drive allows you to do is that you can track changes, so you can actually go back and see a revision history, who made what change to each document. So as a professor, that allows me to determine what input each student has had into creating this final project that they were working on. I can also go in and do track changes like you could do in most word processing documents. So I can make comments to their material, I can suggest changes and edits to their material, and it's all housed within this one folder in Google Drive. So that's really helpful because they all have access to it at the same time. So it provides a little bit more functionality than they might have in, say, Moodle, or if they were just sharing one document back and forth by email, because with Google Drive, all of the edits happen instantly and everything is updated in real time. So that's one simple way that we've tried to use Google Drive in our classrooms to create more of a paperless classroom, but also to create more instant feedback and communication between our students. One of the other tools that we've used in our Communication Foundations 2 class is that we've actually had our students create video blogs. So this class, Communication Foundations 2, is a traditional public speaking class. But one of the things we know is that we are moving into more of a technological age. And so with that, we want to prepare our students for public speaking in any type of form. And one of the main forms that we're seeing now that's emerging are video blogs. And so what we've done is we've asked our students to take one of their presentations that they presented in class, and we've asked them to modify that presentation for a video blog format. In my class, I asked the students to shorten that presentation. The presentation that was given in class was to a face-to-face audience, and we have more connection with the face-to-face audience, so we can speak longer and hold their attention longer. But with an online audience, they have many more distractions, and so we need to capture their attention faster, and we need to hold it. And so one of the strategies that I used in this assignment is to ask the students to take the presentation that they had done and then make it shorter for the particular online audience. They also had to think about things like their introduction. In the public speaking class face-to-face, their audience were their peers. Once they moved to a video blog format, their audience became an online audience. And so I wanted them to consider what kind of introduction should they have for an online audience. And so that was one of the main things that the students really tried to focus on. Also, the examples and the evidence that they were using in their presentation needed to change for their new audience. So these were some of the challenges that the students faced in taking this presentation that they originally created for a face-to-face audience and move it into an online format. One of the other things that we asked our students to work on with the video blogs was to think about the video itself. Consider the lighting of the video, consider the framing of the video, what's behind them in the picture, what are the things that the audience can see, how does that present a professional or not professional image of them, how does it fit with the particular topic. So for instance, one student of mine was talking about GPS, Global Positioning System, and he was talking about the usefulness of GPS for us when we are out and about on the street. And so the first part of his video blog was actually filmed on the street in Astana. And so that made a lot of sense because he was talking about this particular subject. And so we asked the students to think about the topic and think about what the correct location was for their particular video blog. So for example, the video you're seeing now, we're in our communication lab, which is the appropriate place for us to be talking about the way we use technology in the classroom. So these were some of the challenges that our students faced in putting together their video blogs. And in the next video, you'll actually see several examples of our students and their video blogs and the work that they have been able to do. One of the other things we asked our students to do was to post these videos on YouTube. We wanted it to be a real situation for them so they could see that this is actual public communication of their messages. And so the students' blogs videos were posted on YouTube for the whole world to see. And they were quite nervous about the potential for 6 million YouTube viewers to be seeing their videos. But I think they've done a really great job, and I hope you'll enjoy seeing the videos.